Hi, Gemini. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for October of 2022. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
I'm Julia Mijas in Mystic, Connecticut.
Connecticut, that's cool. I love it when we're bi-coastal. Well, hey, Gemini, October's horoscope is rich with relationship themes, mostly playing out in your home and career spheres. If you have questions about anything in this horoscope, you can get the answers to those in a natal and transit reading, and you'll find a link to book that in the text that comes with this video. Well, I want to say that this month has two distinct vibes to it. And the main vibe is relationships, and that just gets stronger as the month goes on, although it does begin that way. So we're going to start with some Moon and Mercury activity, and then we'll get into the relationship stuff as we go along. So the first moon of this month happens on October 9th. It is a full moon in Aries. And as you can see, it falls in your 11th house. Right here's the moon opposite the sun here in Libra. This moon we're calling arguments that wound, dialogue that heals, because it's a rather explosive moon. Moon is with Chiron, so there's a little bit of a touchy quality, a little bit hair trigger emotionally about this moon. Not helped by the square to Pallas Athena, but definitely helped by Venus's presence here in Libra. So there is definitely opportunity for turning things in a more diplomatic direction, especially if you already know that this moon is coming along and you can engage with it consciously. And because this moon happens in your 11th house, this explosive emotional quality might come out in your friendships or in your community. So if you're at a gathering on October 9th, just try to keep the arguments to a minimum. And the other moon this month is going to be more interesting and bringing some great stuff about relationship. But before we get there, I want to throw the ball over to Julia, because Julia, I know you have some news about Mercury and Mars and Venus.
Yes, I do. Well, I've got some good news actually for you, Gemini, because your ruling planet Mercury goes direct very, very early in the month on October 2nd. Now, Mercury has done this whole retrograde cycle. It mostly took place last month, but it happened in your 4th house of family and home. Mercury retrograde times are times where we have a lot of miscommunications, where we have to redo and review some aspect of our lives. And in your 4th house, these miscommunications may have come from your family or the people you lived with, and you may have been reviewing your domestic situation, your housing situation. Maybe you're thinking of changing up something in your house, or maybe even moving. Then by October 10th, Mercury moves into your 5th house. This is a very fun house. It's the house of your children, the house of games, hobbies, diversions, creativity too. And when Mercury comes into the 5th, if you're a creative writer, this is a wonderful transit to get a lot of great work done. Mercury is a planet that loves playing games. It's a planet that rules your mind. So you might be really into a lot of mental games. Maybe there's some big, good video games, role player games, trivia, even out at a local bar would be really good for this transit too. And if you do have children, you will be hearing from them more. Maybe they'll start responding to your texts a little bit more readily than usual. Then on October 29th, Mercury's going to go into your 6th house, and we're really going to cover that cycle in a lot of depth in our next month's video. But Mercury in the 6th is going to be a wonderful time to get more order in your life and get a lot more organized in general. Now, while Mercury is going direct, we do have a planet that's going to be going retrograde really late in the month, and that's Mars. the planet of activity and also action. It represents the action hero in you. So all month it's going to be slowing down, slowing down, slowing down until on August 30th, it technically goes retrograde. So this is all taking place in your first house. This is the house of self. And when Mars is slowing down and going retrograde in the first house of self, there might be, because retrogrades are time of having to redo and review things, you might have to review your actions over some matter. Mars first house can be a high energy time, so it's really, really wonderful to get that out through a workout, go for a jog around the neighborhood, get really, really active, because if you do pent it up, it might mean that you run into more conflicts with other people. And yeah, this retrograde cycle is going to take a number of months. We'll be talking about it more next month too. So yeah, definitely brace yourself for that. And then Venus, the planet of relationship, she starts the month in one of her favorite houses to be in, and that's the 5th. So the 5th house, again, it rules your children. It rules fun and games, activities, creativity. Again, if you do have a creative side, it's really going to come out this month. Venus in the 5th also means that you'll be getting along really well with your children and just enjoying, just enjoying whatever creative hobbies you have, whatever things you do for fun. This is also a house that can represent going out. So clubs, casinos, theaters, whatever places of amusements you enjoy, you will definitely find yourself there. Then on October 22nd, it's a very important day to keep track of because Venus will conjoin the sun exactly. And we call that relationship rapture day. And this is when relationships can start progressing and start moving forward. Lots of relationship stuff going on this month for everyone in general. But for you specifically, having this happen in your 5th house, you might be able to move forward on matters pertaining to children because they're ruled in the 5th house. Maybe you and your partner are talking about it. Maybe you decide yes or no, but there might be momentum there. And Venus conjoined the sun, having this relationship rapture day in the 5th might also mean that you can find ways to have more shared fun with your partner. That also makes you feel like the relationship is moving forward. Maybe you guys discover a game or some hobby that you're both really into, and it just makes you stronger. Then on October 23rd, Venus enters your 6th house. This is a work house, so it's a wonderful time for getting along well with the people that you work with. And I do know that Jamie has more to say on all the relationship stuff going on this month.
Well, at the beginning of the month and for the first 2/3, the sun is traveling along through Libra, which is very much a relationship-oriented sign, setting the tone for this season. And then on the 22nd, the sun moves on into Scorpio. And Scorpio is also about relationship, but the deeper, more intimate side of relationship. Scorpio has to do with sharing, which can be physical, as in sexuality. It can be emotional, as in vulnerability and intimate, emotional connecting. And it can also be financial, as in credit and debt, monies that you share with another person or entity. And as the sun moves into Scorpio, it's good to put the light of your high quality attention on wherever the sun is. And it being in Scorpio, putting your attention on those things is good. But also, in particular, it's moving into your 6th house, which is a domain of work, health, service, and organization. And so bringing your attention to your work life and how you could be better organized there, or how you could be better organized at home, or, and I think most particularly because Venus is there with the sun, the relationships that you have with people in the workplace, the collaborative relationships, the friendly relationships, the relationships of obligation, perhaps, which you have to have. And maybe it's not always so easy to get along because Venus appearing with the sun here as the sun moves into your 6th house suggests that those relationships could be bettered, all of them. Now, on October 23rd, also, another wonderful thing happens that we've really been waiting for some months. Juno has been retrograde. You see the little red RX symbol right there. And when I flip to the 23rd, that disappears because Juno goes direct. And Juno is an asteroid goddess of marriage. You've probably heard me talk about her quite a bit in these horoscopes. And while she is retrograde, we go through a profound relationship retrospection. If you're in a relationship, you might be looking at the past of your relationship. If you're single, you might be looking at your relationship history, all of it with a view to how can my relationships be better in the future. And particularly because Juno's been in Pisces, there's been this sort of spiritual litmus test that you've been putting your relationships through, asking yourself, what's the real meaning underneath this relationship? And how can I feel a deeper sense of spiritual connection to my partner? Now, this Juno retrograde period now ending has been happening in your 10th house, which is very much a house of career. If we think of the 6th house as pertaining to the job and the job environment, then the 10th house is the overall arc of your career, which, like a string, might have various beads on it, each bead representing a particular job, which hopefully contributes to and is a part of the arc of your career. And so the 10th house being career and Juno being here, some of this relationship retrospection has had very much to do with the relationships that you formed along your career path. Most particularly the best people for you to network with, the best people for you to be connected to in the place where you are now, or the people that might help you move along your career path in the future. And so hopefully this relationship retrospection period has helped you to get a more meaningful connection to those people. So then it all comes together in the new moon and solar eclipse happening on October 25th. So that's right here. And the moon arrives where the sun is. And Venus is here too still, and they're trining Juno. So the relationship themes are very strong here. And an eclipse is a time when we have to look at our shadow. It's generally uncomfortable. We often don't like eclipses. Oh, my nose is ticklish. One sec. I'm not going to go back and edit this out because I never edit my videos. So Sun, Venus, and Moon together trining Juno result in actually a wonderful eclipse. And because eclipses have a tendency to feel heavy, and like sort of be occasions for self-examination, we usually don't like them very much, but this one has so much sweetness and so many great relationship themes and so much harmony embedded in it that I think it's actually a really great time for that relationship retrospection to come to a close, resulting in a decision about how to move forward with your partner or how to move forward in finding your next great partner. So for that reason, we're calling this one Confessions, Acceptance, Healing, because if there's anything that you've uncovered during your relationship retrospection and you need to tell your partner about it, you've been holding it back, or if you think that your partner's been holding something back and you're ready to know what that is, this eclipse could be a good time for that conversation. Go into it with all the compassion you can muster, all of the tolerance you can muster, open your heart, and be ready for things to grow deeper. Well, that's what we have for you today, Gemini. You can always find your horoscope on our website, pandoraastrology.com, in the horoscope tab. If you want to know more about this month's moons, the eclipse and the full moon, you can find that on the forecast page on our website. And if you wanted to get a reading out of this horoscope, then you can check out the readings tab on our website. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.